It's your friend Marvin Stafford, the Smile Motivator. And it's a good morning. Good morning to you. It's Friday. I'm so excited. It's Friday, y'all. Oh, wow. It's been a great week. It's been a great week, even though I had to take my son to the dentist this week. It has been a fabulous, great, and wonderful week. I know we all have challenges and things that come against us, but we're looking for the silver lining. I actually just got news that a friend of mine passed away. I just got the news a few minutes ago, but I had to step back and I had to think about it. I could let the mood take me over and the fact that he's gone, but it when I thought about him, I remember seeing them and remember interacting with them and remember how he lifted my spirit and how he taught me how to pray for myself. He was a great guy. That's all I can say. He was a great guy. But it's Friday. We're gonna get into it. Put my glasses on here. Let me. Come on. I should have took care of this before. But this week, I know we've been talking about communication and relationships, and there's a lot of programs out there. A lot of self-help videos and things like that. 3, 7, 10 steps to communication. There is a bunch of other stuff too. But what we're doing and what we have been doing is laying the groundwork, the foundation, the platform for good, healthy communication. And it's once you put in these things that I've been going over with you, you can set any skill program on top of that. Because if you try to learn the skill before you deal with the heart, deal with what kind of person you are and all that good stuff, it's just a skill, and ultimately it won't be as productive as in if you dig that trench, lay the foundation, and then set whatever you want to set, whatever skill necessary to become better on top of it. I want to give you something special today. It's something very special. It's the last point, but I'm gonna give it to you at the end of the video. yeah, I'm wrong. I'm gonna give it to you at the end. It's a game changer, is what it is. So, really quickly, let's get into the ones who shared the video. I'd like to thank all the small motivators out there who shared the videos with their coworkers, shared the message, with their coworkers and friends and family, who actually, tell them, what communication is about, and talk to people about communication, all the conversations out there. Awesome. I want to send a special thank you out to those who shared the video. And starting from the bottom, working to the top, Sharon Eubanks. Thank you, Sharon, for sharing my video this week. Shirley Barnes. Shirley, thank you for sharing my video this week. And Heather Young. What's up, youngster? Thank you for sharing my video this week. Hattie Williams. She shared my video this week as well. And Melba Wiley. Melba Wiley has shared every video I put out this week. Thank you, Melba. So let's just jump into it. I know we've been covering a lot of things this week, and I'm just going to recap a little bit of this week, and I'm going to give you the last one, and then we'll be done for the day, and I'll see you on next week, bright and early on Sunday. But before that, let me go over with you just a second. Just a moment here. We learned when we started out on Sunday that communication is a skill. You can improve it. You can grow it, and you can become a master at communication. If you don't practice it, it can diminish. Also, we learned that you need to start with the end in mind. How do you want this conversation to go? What do you want to get out of it? Start with that thinking. Let that thinking mold you, the kind of words and kind of attitude that you have going into the conversation. We learn that you have to know yourself, what kind of person you are, how you communicate, how you communicate naturally, how did nature develop you as a communicator, how did nurture put into you as a communicator. You have to know yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. And if you can't know everybody in the conversation, it helps to know who you are and how you communicate. You have to understand the emotional state that you're in before you even start communicating. You have to know how you feel. Are you drained? Are you frustrated? Are you fatigued? Is the beginning of the day? Are you full of energy? Is your mind working well? You have to know where you are and what kind of state that you're in before you start. You have to understand we're in a battle against light, against darkness, against wisdom, and against ignorance, against tearing people down or building them up. We're in a battle. We build people up. We don't tear them down. We learn that every person has value. You have value, and every other person have value. What they think, how they think, and what they're saying has value. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. We can correct the statement with understanding good communication, but the person still has value, and their words and ideas still have value to them. Okay, we also learned about, yes, being heard, being understood, and being respected. Heard, understood, and respected. Whether it's good communication or bad communication, everybody wants to be heard, understood, and respected. So it's always good to listen, understand, and respect others. There's something missing. That's when we talked about if your instinct, if you can't get your point across, is for violence and lashing out and negativity, that there's something missing on the inside. There's something very wrong on the inside of you if you have to resort to that. There may be some past experiences that you may need counseling on. There may need some skills that you need to pick up and work better at communicating. But when all that is done, if you still, after getting those skills, after learning how to communicate, after taking classes and watching videos and incorporating it into your life, if you still have a problem with resorting to violence, negativity, and lashing out, there is something with your esteem. There's something wrong with how you esteem yourself. You might feel that you have a high esteem, but if you have to resort to those things, there is something wrong with the esteem of oneself. We don't know everything. We may feel great, but those who resort to violence have something wrong with their esteem. We also talked about the paradox. The paradox in how men and women communicate. That it's easier for women, most women, not all, most women, to change feelings and emotions into words because they practice it from an early age. Talking with parents, talking with siblings, talking with loved ones. Talking about how things make them feel. Their first heartbreak, their first kiss. Hugging and touching and loving on people. They have all these things, and then sometimes when they don't feel like talking, a girlfriend, friend, boyfriend, however, that's used to communicating will press them. Let me in. Let's talk about this. Let's work this out together. So women have women who, not all women, really, but women tend to have a more practice at turning more, emotions and feelings into words. Where our as men, our social is different. Our social is we just get together, we hang out, we talk, and we talk about, what's going on in our life, but we don't necessarily talk about emotions. But if we see that something's wrong with someone, we'll ask about it. If they're standoffish, unlike a lot of women that are very social, we don't press. We let them have it because we know at some point they're going to either work it out themselves or they're going to come to us or someone else. So we don't press. So that's how men or women are different. But with understanding, with communication training, with practice, men can also learn to express their emotions and feelings. We're still not going to be as good as most women, but we can learn. And the last thing, the very last thing, the peak, the snow peak on the mountaintop, the cherry on the whipped cream on top of the pie, or whatever you want to call it, the cherry on top. It's very hard to do because you have to collaborate with someone to do it. But I call it, can I take it back? Can I take it back? And what can I take it back is, it's an agreement that we have going into a conversation. That if I say something and I mean it one way, but you take it or receive it a completely different way than I intended. Hey, that's not the way that I wanted you to receive that. That's not how I wanted it to go. Can I take it back and restate it another way? That seems very simple, very small. But when it comes to communication, having good communication and healthy outcomes to communication is very major. So someone says something that did not mean to be offensive. The person who's receiving it was offended by it. And instead of going off or at the point where they're going to be offended and may go off, you say, hey, I didn't mean it like that. Can I take that back and restate it another way? Very big when it comes to communication. So I've had a great week with you. I've had a great time talking about communications and the foundations to communication. The foundations to communication, like I said, hopefully you take this information, you learn from this information, and you add on to it. You get those, go watch those videos of 3 and 7 and 10 steps to healthy or good communication. You go and learn listening skills of how to listen to people. You go and read those books and listen to those videos of how to read facial expressions and body language. And ultimately, you go out there and read books of how to make friends and influence people. But it starts with the foundation. And that's what we have went over today. Hey, I'm Marvin Stafford, your friend Marvin Stafford, the Smile Motivator, and I'm reminding you that we are staying motivated in life eternal. Have a great and awesome day today. Like and share the video, comment, invite your friends to like Smile Motivation, and I'll see you bright and early next week. Have a great weekend.